All right. Hey, everybody. Pete Meyer, Motorist Magazine here. Another episode of Shop Talk Live. As you can see, we got a full house with me this afternoon. And it's for a very special reason. You know, we've talked about a lot of the training opportunities that are coming up in March. It's kind of like a trifecta. You really can't go wrong. You've got ATE, you've got the big event, and of course, you've got Vision. And that's what we're here to kind of focus on a little bit today. Vision has been known to do several things unique, creating new opportunities, new training venues, and new platforms. And something they're going to be doing this year is rather unique. Involves the gentleman that you see here. It is the I guess you call it what a training buffet. Matt, what do you think about what's coming up?
Well, it would be easy because of the name of it to call it a ripoff of TED Talks. And, you know, I've watched TED Talks, but the nature of the idea wasn't TED Talks. It was, how do we get more voices to present at a training event, and namely Vision, because I think Vision, it's kind of the premier event in the nation. But how do we get younger people up there, or actually age has nothing to do with it, maybe novice trainers, people that are interested in presenting. How do we get them a chance to present at a premier event, not have to carry the load of 3 or 4 hours? That's really what drove this idea, is maybe instead of one person trying to, you know, accumulate 3-4 hours of material or even tag team it, maybe split it up into small segments and they kind of take turns and you get a different viewpoint from technicians from all over the country.
Did you hear that, Richard? He said, young guys, you're not allowed, buddy.
Oh, I changed it.
I'm leaving now.
I was just thinking I should leave too.
Well, and we can do gals, so instead of young guys, young gals too.
Yeah.
They're going around. Let me just kind of give a chance to everybody to because we are showcasing some new talent, and I think it's a great platform to do that. So I was going to kind of go around the screen here, and if you would, Matt, most of the people watching are probably familiar with Matt from way back even in the ITN days.
I doubt it.
There's still been very
probably have lives.
You probably seen the event at the Pico booth or teaching Pico classes at various events around the country. A lot of them hands-on. And of course, if you're following Carm Capriotto and his remarkable results, Matt is a frequent guest there as well. So we're going to move on to the top right corner, Mr. Brent Klein. Brent, tell us a little bit about what your role in the industry and a little bit about yourself.
I don't know. First off, I want to say the buffet thing. The buffets, they can come, you know, they can take what they like. We're going to lock them in. The door's going to be locked. They can't leave. So, right. So now it's a hostage situation. I'm Bryn, owner of Assured Auto Works in Melbourne, Florida, and I was a fortunate winner of a Vision Scholarship. I think it was 2013. Sherry called me. It was a very exciting day in my life. And I would say the things started before then, but that's really when I started getting involved with the industry, and I really haven't looked back. I really enjoy doing what I can to try to make this a better industry for the working professionals and the motoring public. This is a great opportunity. I think it's a great idea. I've not heard of anything quite like it at a training event. So pretty excited to be part of it, and I'm thankful to have been chosen. I think you guys will be regretting your decision soon if you already haven't. But
no, I think Brent, you're being too modest. I mean, a lot of people that know you have got to see. I know I got to see part of your class at the ASA Super Saturday event. And everybody's watching. Like I said, Brent is a part of a group. If you haven't heard of them by now, the Train by Text group. I think, if I'm not mistaken, everybody here but Sherry and maybe Matt, right, are members of Train by Text. Have always
not quite.
Justin, no, maybe no. Okay, so we'll kind of cool. I know that Brent is, and not only has he been involved with that group, but he played a role in resurrecting ASA Florida and initiating the inaugural training event in Florida. So, he's been really involved in the industry. I'm glad to see that. So I'm going to come down now. Let's talk to Brian. I think most people see that Brian's in the middle of his work day, had to steal away from lunch hour. So Brian, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm a technician in Willoughby, Ohio. I'm also a member of Trained by Techs. I work with Brent all the time and Rich with the Trained by Techs crew, helping do what we do. I'm kind of in the Trained by Tech scene. I'm doing a lot of the stuff behind the scenes as far as like the website development and stuff like that. So that's kind of where my focus is in the Trained by Techs group. I'm working on developing classes of my own as well. And I think this opportunity fits me well because I'm trying to slowly transition into the training side of the industry. And this will help make that transition more seamless than just jumping ship to go into the training side of the industry, full-fledged right away.
Right.
I kind of slowly make the transition. It was more what I'm interested in. So.
Yeah, well, Brian helped join us for the Super Saturday event, and we had a good time teaching that class together.
Yeah, that was fun. I had a blast.
And
I look forward to doing another one.
Well, you're going to be there, right? If you're going to get from behind the scenes and be right there in front, man, debuting in Vision, that's a big deal.
Right.
No pressure, Brian.
No pressure. No pressure. Right? Have every noted national trainer in the country is going to be sitting in the back row watching.
If you want, you can hold your paper sack as you're presenting. That's what I'll be doing. So.
And then Richard is he's got his feet wet for a while there. Richard, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm a trainer for CarQuest Technical Institute, which I've been doing for 6 years now. And kind of the opposite of Brian, I jumped in with both feet right away and hit the ground running, and I train all over the Southeast. Before that, I had my own shop for 16 years and worked for a couple different manufacturers. So I've been around the block. I'm the elder millennial of the Trained by Techs crew. So
young at heart, man.
Yeah. Only at heart.
And can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Actually, you looked like you were like 30 when you first joined us, but we've aged you pretty well.
Yeah, this chat has just killed me.
So I'm Keith Williamson. I own a shop in Bondurant, Iowa, suburb of Des Moines. I've owned this shop for 23 years now. I grew up as a technician. We specialize in hybrids here. I mean, Des Moines is not a huge city, but we do a lot of hybrid work. I thought maybe I could add some hybrid information for the people out there because there's not a lot of it out there. I get a lot of texts from all over the country calling me about hybrids. So just thought I would give a try at it, and I'm not bashful. I don't mind speaking in front of people, so that's not a
so no paper sack for you then.
No, I hope not anyway.
But I think that's really great, Keith. I'm kind of looking forward to hearing what you have to say at this event because there's been a lot of, well, if you've seen the news, GM, of course, just announced like a $2.2 billion investment in their Detroit plant to make that an EV-only plant. Was scheduled to release an electric pickup later this year. So, and of course, here at the magazine, we've been talking to shop owners since '99 about being involved in this business. This is not new anymore, but this is amazing how few shops do embrace that. So it'd be great. All right, down here to Justin. Justin, you're up.
You would wait till I would take a sip of my drink to say that, wouldn't you? So
his job before fixing cars was he was a waiter.
Yes, I was, and I was terrible at it. So, been a technician this is my 15th year. This past year, I started working with Seth Thorson at LMV, doing independent tech support and training for shops that are doing BMW. So that's, if you ever want to find out how good you are at fixing cars, try to do it over the phone. It's rough some days.
Yeah.
So hopefully I can bring a little bit different perspective to some of the other guys that specialize in the hybrid and the Asian and the domestic, because everybody's fearful of the European car for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still just nuts and bolts, just a little bit
Yeah.
fancier nuts and bolts.
It's just a different language, man. I think is the big.
All right,
Every time I open up,
here, I'm just going to kind of skip over the young lady there for a moment and go to Chris. Chris, tell us a little bit about himself first.
My name's Chris. I work at like an auto down in Bristol. I've kind of done a little bit of everything. Started out in automotive, ended up going into heavy equipment for about 5-6 years for a John Deere dealer. Recently moved back into automotive full time.
Wow. And
welcome back, Chris.
Like we got at the bottom there, Dave, it's already know Miss Sherry Hamilton, Executive Director for the Midwest Auto Care Alliance. Sherry, thanks for coming out and hanging out with us and showcasing this new feature for Vision. Tell me a little bit about how this whole idea started. Where did the germ for this idea begin?
Thank you. Well, as you know, there's not only a shortage of technicians in this industry, but we also have to look at where the future of our industry is going to be trained from, and looking at helping develop some new talent within the training industry. So Matt called me one day and said, hey, I have a crazy idea. And we started brainstorming. And sure enough, this is what we came up with, is the Tech Talks program. So it's an opportunity really where we can bring some great industry professionals together, as Matt said, who maybe aren't ready to do that 3, 4, 8-hour class, but they've got some knowledge they want to share, and maybe we can get that training bug to, if it hasn't already, as you can see, we have some professional trainers who are in this as well. But if it hasn't, maybe the training bug will bite them, and they'll be interested in presenting training. And all of us have some incredible knowledge and information in this industry, and so I think bringing little nuggets of information and putting it all together in one class, I think describing it as a buffet is the perfect explanation, because you're going to get a little bit of everything. So when we were going through selecting the classes, we were looking for that. So when you go to this class, you should have a ton of notes and be able to cover so much in one 3-hour segment, as opposed to maybe dedicating an entire topic to a 3-hour segment. So it's a little bit of variety, and I'm excited that we were able to bring it, and so thankful for these gentlemen to join us for our first ever Vision Tech Talks, and look forward to growing this program even more over the years.
Awesome. And I got to say, for everybody who's watching too, that I'm going to admit this probably for the first time publicly. A few years ago, I was getting rather discouraged, because it seemed that when you went to so many events, there was a lot of old guys like me running up and down the hallways. And then we met some of these young folks that are, for me, young folks that are here today, and many others that aren't on your screen today, that really have a fire in their bellies to not only become better technicians and shop owners, but to share that with others in the industry. And I got to tell everyone who is with me today, Sherry already knows this, I'm sure Matt does as well. Every top trainer that I've ever had the honor of meeting has had one common personality trait, and that was a deep desire to help others do better, to earn a better living, to make a better living for themselves and their families, to be better techs. And everyone here on the screen has that same desire, it seems. And I'm thinking that if you have an opportunity, if you're watching and you're going to Vision, if you have an opportunity to sit in on this class, it's going to be a lot more than a class. It's going to be an experience. It's going to be something that's going to also light that fire in your belly. Hey, I want to take everybody one more time to thank you for coming out and sharing this with us. I know it's interrupting your work day, and again, I appreciate that so much. And I look forward to seeing what all of you have to present in Overland Park when we come back for Vision 2020.